Arts Live show, and we're in the middle of Marshall Auditorium, which is going to be the Performing Arts Center. And I'm here with two of the head honchos, I would say two of many, but I thank you, John and Harvey, for coming on the show. And we want to talk briefly about JPAC. And I know that you guys hit a milestone recently.
Yep, we made just over $1 million in terms of pledges and donations, so we're on our way.
And to most people, I'm going to guess that seems like a lot.
Yes.
But it really is not even the halfway point of your starting, where you can start to really redo this beautiful facility.
Well, you know, John Westfall here on my right, and to your left as you view the screen, is chairman of the building committee for JPAC. And he's got the details on the costs and where we are in relation to that, what we want to do and what we have to cut out.
Yeah, but what we're trying to do is raise $2.5 million, and we are a little less than halfway there, and it's been quite a struggle to get to $1 million anyway. So, you know, we're about halfway there and have a ways to go yet.
What are some of the things that you're doing to raise money?
Well, for a long time, you know, I appeared on your show, Dave, about a year ago, Tammy Gore, the campaign administrator at that time, and we were doing a quiet campaign, hitting some of the major donors that we hoped would respond, and they have responded. But it's been a tough economy. There's a lot of competition for charity dollars out there. Somebody had a locker room project going somewhere.
I think they're gisting each other pretty good over here.
I know, really, to echo what Harvey was saying, the specifics of what we're doing is in any campaign is you think of it like a pyramid, and you start with the few people at the top who are major donors, and those that request is a quiet one that happens one-on-one. Mm-hmm. As you go down the period, you're finding more donors at a lower level of money, and those are a combination of one-on-one contacts, maybe meetings with a bunch of those people in the group, and so forth. As you get towards the bottom, it's more of the grassroots campaign, where we contact everybody in the community. So what we've done so far is really, we're more towards the top of the pyramid without the big splashy campaign stuff that everybody's hearing, because you really have to secure a major part of your funding with the top of the pyramid before you can go forward. You almost got to know that you've got it there with the major donors first before you can proceed. So we're about halfway through that pyramid right now.
Now I know you've done things with alumni, people who've gone through the school, whether it be the Janesville High School or a junior high school facility.
Yes, there was an alumni campaign. Al Huff and Bob Kimball and Susie Rail were head of that, and we picked up a nice sum from them, over $220,000, which was a great foundation.
Through trying to sell seats in the auditorium, you know, just like they do in athletic, you know, facilities.
Sure.
Getting so much per seat. And that's pretty much been the extent of a formal public campaign, is trying to sell the seats.
I know on the website there's a little quasi-competitive thing with the alumni. I know that it's listed by class. You can check out, by the way, their website, which is janesvillepac.org. And we encourage you to go there and check it out. I think there's even ability to pledge online, and I don't think they're going to turn anything down because it's a great facility. Now, I know we're flanked here by some of the seating that John mentioned, and we have, as you first saw, some of the old seating that was in the Marshall Junior High School, and I'm not sure how far back these go, but
I think, you know, probably 40 or 50 years. They've been replaced since the place was originally built.
They have, okay. And then on this side, we have a model of what will be the new seats, and they look 10 times more comfortable. They look to be wider as well.
Yeah, and the seats, there's a couple of things about the seats, Dave, is one is code allows us in a facility of this size to only have so many people that can fit in here. And there were a lot more seats of the old style that were in here than the code would allow. Plus, these seats were designed for kids in middle school and junior high, and there wasn't a lot of knee room between the rows in between them, and width also for adults. So these are going to solve the problem of the correct number of seats that we can have, and also more comfortable.
So if I sat in that, I might not get out.
Maybe if you're 13.
You might be penned in about.
What the facility is going to be used for, as we were just discussing here, not only local arts groups, but potentially national and regional performance art has the right to be here for all of Janesville and beyond. So we've got, what are some of the local groups?
Well, Janesville Concert Association, and they bring in a mixed bag of favorites. George Winston was here this last season with the Concert Association, and they've also brought the Milwaukee Symphony to Janesville.
Little Theater,
Janesville Little Theater.
Theater Unlimited.
Theater Unlimited. Beloit Janesville Symphony Orchestra. We want to extend the stage here by 10 feet out this way so we can accommodate a full symphony orchestra like the Milwaukee Symphony or the BJSO.
And dance, I would imagine.
Dance groups are going to be here. They have signed up. We want to concentrate first on the local arts groups, and Concert Association will bring in outside groups. And I don't think this is public knowledge yet, but we want the JPAC to be a presenter too. If you look around the state, which we have surveyed, successful venues such as this are presenters, and they bring in crowds to help the city of Janesville.
Sure. Yeah, so contemporary music and contemporary artists as well is what we're hoping to get here. I mean, some big name people that would make Janesville this a good venue for people that normally go to Madison or Milwaukee.
Sure, and I can't tell you the number of times that I hear people suggesting that there's nowhere to put a show on in Janesville, there's no good place to go see a show, and this comes from both sides. I think the band thing, as well as some of the, I've heard you speak of, the seeing the symphony at Craig versus seeing it at Parker. Well, this would be a great facility to see that. But it's going to take a lot to really revamp this place.
Yes.
And in my understanding, and please, John, you can help me out with this, but the HVAC and electrical alone is somewhere near $1 million, isn't it?
Yeah, yep, probably about $1 million in our current budget, and it amounts to about over 50% of what we've got for the construction budget right now. And that's because when this building was renovated for the apartments, they always knew that this was going to be a future space for somebody like us. So they didn't bring the heating and the cooling and the electrical and stuff in here, knowing that that would be our responsibility down the road.
And it has to be tailor-made for it.
And it has to be tailor-made. If you think about HVAC systems and plumbing systems, you don't want a lot of noise during the performance. So there's a lot that goes along with that. Plus, if you think about the lighting and the electrical, including lighting and power and sound that goes with an auditorium, it's quite significant as well. Because this does take a lot of electrical requirements on top of it. But those are kind of things that's the infrastructure behind the scenes that people don't see. What they'll really see when they come in here when we're completed is a lot more intimate theater, and that's because of the topography of the auditorium of the house where the seating is. It slopes so much down towards this stage that we're on that from either side of the house we're actually going to have ramps that are level for ADA accessibility that are going to extend out enough from the sidewalls that it's going to bring the seating a lot closer together. That's a major thing that we're doing. Harvey also talked about our stage extension. We're going to put all new seating in here. There won't be any seating under the balcony in the back, which people will be able to be closer to the auditorium and then closer in on either side as well. We'll be reusing the balcony. We'll be refurbishing the existing wonderful historic light fixtures and providing more lighting in here as is needed, a full sound system, a full stage lighting and rigging system. We're going to have a social area in the back of the auditorium. We're going to have...
Isn't the balcony now going to stretch down along the sides too, isn't it?
As a matter of fact, that is in our master plan, but due to budget constraints, we're probably not doing what are called those side loges. So it will be the existing balcony that people will be able
We could
to
have
use.
that for only $243,000 though, couldn't we?
Send your money now.
We could name it after whoever.
Send your money now.
Mr. and Mrs. Side Loge.
The Harvey Turner side loge would be wonderful for all of us.
That's our dream.
But, the other thing is, in general, what we're doing is in the basement, which is the old cafeteria right below here, is going to be some bathrooms and changing rooms for the performers. Coming in from the old music wing, which is on the library side of Marshall, will be our lobby and entrance and social area as well, with a grand staircase, more bathrooms and so forth. So it seems extensive, but it's in a rather small place, and it's just expensive because of the fact that it's a theater and we got to bring it up to the correct standards.
Now, your goal in all this was it not $3.5 million originally? But do you think you could get started with 2.5 type?
Well, we can do the auditorium and the necessary accessories to that for $2.5 million. It's going to be kind of bare bones on the entrance through the music wing. but we can bring people in here. We can get it going for $2.5 million. The master plan calls for $4.2 million.
Yeah, we actually started out with a lower number than $2.5 million at our inception. Thought it would be less. As we learned more about the project and what it would take, we revised it upwards to $2.5 million. Now, we could spend over $4 million to do what we want to do, but again, we're subject to the political reality of trying to raise the money, and so we think that $2.5 million is a doable number.
Sure. I got to ask this now. I know you went to school here. When you walk down the halls, you still kind of get that hoodoo voodoo kind of flashback thing.
I'm saying more of a flashback of like Bob Bauer having me in a position against the locker on the first floor.
Were you being disciplined?
No,
I remember him.
Yeah, I think really, in all honesty, it's great because virtually any Janesville resident, over the age of 30, went to school here.
Sure.
So I think it'd be a real neat thing for you and me, all of us, to come in here to a place we went to school, sit in the old auditorium and see a contemporary
Bring our
performance.
kids in and let them see a part of what is. I mean, it's really part of our heritage and part of the history of Janesville.
Right.
It is a warm and fuzzy thing here that's going on. Yeah. And I want to emphasize that they would like you to give to JPAC. I know that there are a lot of folks who have already given. I know that they can all probably reach a little deeper. And how can they give money to JPAC?
Send it to Box 8104 in Janesville, Wisconsin 535147. Did I say that right? And Box 8104.
Okay. I also know that you can go to the website like we talked about. I'm going to guess you could probably walk into the campaign office and they probably would shoo you away.
Yes, the campaign office is at 29 West Milwaukee. We're on the 3rd floor, right above, just close to Charter School.
I was going to say Charter School, and InWave is down there as well. And so you can come on down and you can get involved. And it's truly, I think, one of the most important things why we're doing this. And I thank you both for coming on. I got to point this out real quick. It's cold in here, okay? So when you see us doing this, it's because it's cold. I'm surprised you can't see Brent, but anyway, it's going to be a wonderful facility. I do remember taking a tour early on as with some of the architects.
Yes.
You were nice enough to let us kind of come along, and there is a lot to be done. Anything you guys want to add here?
Yeah, I'll let Harvey have the last word, but really, we are in, this is a tough project to complete, and we really do need funding, and there are a lot of requests for people's funding all over the place. There's a lot of people in Janesville, the three of us included, that think this would be a wonderful addition to our city, not just from a performing arts standpoint, but for the whole downtown redevelopment concept. We think that this can really be an anchor and a jewel in the downtown, and if somebody is not an art supporter, but you are a supporter of Janesville in the downtown, I think this is a wonderful thing for your, philanthropic dollar if you're willing to give. And so, if you can, we really need the help because we aren't going to build this until we have the money, and so we need the money before we start. So I really try to make a strong plea for donations out of people.
And it's not just individuals; it's businesses.
Absolutely.
As well. You can get on the bandwagon as a business. And I got to go back to the seats now. You're saying that, just quickly, you can sponsor a seat? Is that?
We got a lot more to sell.
There's still seats available, folks. For $1,250, you can have a seat named after you or your spouse or whoever you would like to name it after. Whomever, according to my wife, Virginia. Whomever you would like.
Mom, did you catch that? Okay. It was him, not me this time.
For only $1,250, the seat doesn't really cost that much. It costs $250, but we have to hire people to carry it in and install it.
And really, truly, there's more to the whole project than the seats. You want to get a last word in there?
This is one of this ideas of this came about through my wife, Jenny, writing a letter to the Gazette. At that time, she said, "Isn't there someone out there who feels that we need a performing arts center in Janesville?" And this is about 10 years ago. And the letter was pretty much ignored, but I think this is a dream of my wife and me and a lot of other people who support the arts in Janesville. It's something we need. The arts organization are going to be more prosperous because of this venue that's going to be available to them, we hope, within the next year. It's really important. Thanks.
So, quickly to reiterate here, this will be a facility for contemporary musical production, dance, symphony, theater, pretty much everything that's performing arts. Get up off the couch, as we say every week on the show. Get up off the couch, go see some of this stuff, and then make a contribution to what we're doing here. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, David.
It's an honor to sit here amongst you two, I might add as well.
We warmed up the place, didn't we?
Yes, we have. I can't see my breath anymore. Well, thank you once again for tuning in. Arts Live Show.